street food. Expedition Huangshan.
Congrats to the winner of our What's in My Backpack giveaway from last week. They won an item which is featured in this episode. Click the link if you want to see what they won and to find out the full list of what we carried in our backpacks. You can learn a lot about a man from the contents of his road trip pack. Expedition Huangshan left off on our bus to Tunxi. When you climb Huangshan, you can choose between two towns that can serve as staging areas for the actual hike, Tunxi or Tunxi. Tunxi might also be called Huangshan City, which maybe is a new name. It's a little confusing. Tunxi is newer, it's been pretty recently developed, and it's closer to the mountain, which makes it a little more expensive. If you go with a tour group, it's very likely that you'd stay in Tunxi the night before the hike. Tunxi is older and a bit bigger. It's got a little bit more of a tourist strip, so there's more to do, aka more snacks to eat. So Nate and I chose Tunxi. We stayed in a hostel there the night before the hike. You'll find that a lot of big tourist sites have towns like this nearby, which can very easily serve as staging areas. There's a little park called Junmin Gongjianyuan that's up a hill overlooking the tourist strip in Tunxi. It's a nice place, but we had bigger mountains to climb. The main tourist strip is called Laojia, which just means old street. There's plenty of like craft trinket things if you're into that. This guy in particular did some pretty sweet wood carvings, decorations, and bookmarks and that kind of thing.
材料是什么木头？
竹是毛竹，民俗的这个珠宝平安，竹是节节高的，人都看出一个吉利嘛，竹是越长越高的，节节高。
Laojia is also where you go to find local delicacies. Homemade chili paste? Legit. Let's start with two bings. Bing, remember, is a Chinese word for a flat, bread-like pastry thing. I went to this shop called Zhima Songzi. Zhima means sesame, and Songzi means pine nut. Huangshan and this area in particular have a lot of pine trees, so pine nuts are kind of a specialty.
My free tea turned out to be some free water. Hot water. Better than nothing.
This is a pretty sweet little bean. It's like a stuffed cookie, almost. It's got like pine nut butter on the inside.
Pine nut butter!
They were really good. I ate way too many of them. These guys are called gong su. Now, su is a word for like a flaky pastry. Gong means to pay tribute, but it's also a family name, so I think it's like the name of the guy who owns this company that distributes these gong su. These are also stuffed with various kinds of sweetness, sugars and nuts and whatnot, but our favorite was the taro. Taro is pretty cool. It's a root vegetable. It's close to a sweet potato, only it's purple. They also sell gong su in like a crispier, almost deep-fried version in these little packages, but we really prefer the fresh off the griddle, hot ones that are more flaky and soft. Laojia, like any tourist spot, has a lot of bars and coffee shops. There's lots of tea and other products. Oh, and this guy's face is everywhere. I have no idea who he is. I tried to search his name on the internet. I could not find anything, but he has something to do with Laojia. I realize it's not very informative, but if you go there, you're gonna see his face. Probably should have asked somebody. Next, we followed our noses to the tofu section of Laojia.
How would you describe the smell of stinky tofu?
Depends how stinky the tofu it is. I would say it's pretty stinky, but there's definitely worse smells in China. But then there's another tofu that is like stinky tofu to the next level. And that's horrible.
Makes you want to run away.
Yes.
We've done stinky tofu on this show before, so today we're talking about hairy tofu. It's like, how nasty can this tofu get? It's stinky, it's hairy, other descriptive words that don't sound tasty. That's what we got. Now, I got into this a little naively. I knew what it was called, and I had heard that if you go to Laojia, you should try it. It's kind of a specialty there. They got at least 4 or 5 little vendors who make it. But this guy seemed to be the boss. Now, as near as I can tell, they make the tofu and then they allow it to mold, which manifests in these little white hairs, like growing off the thing. And then when they fry it up, those white hairs turn into like a crispy coating.
It's like a breading, except that I think it's the hair.
The inside of the tofu was really creamy, which I like. The flavor was mostly spicy. It didn't taste particularly moldy, but it is a little hard to get over the fact that you are eating mold hair. One more snack. We rounded off the evening at this place, the Legend of Wang Yitiao. This place was packed. Jiaozi are just dumplings, which are really common in China, but these are special on multiple counts. First of all, the guy who makes them went from the street to the corner office. There's all these pictures of him with people I assume are Chinese celebrities in the shop. We tried some guanyin tofu, which is like green tea flavored tofu with wolfberries. I would not get that again. Not very good, in my opinion. Nate had some Tunxi Bing while we were waiting for the main event, which were the rainbow jiaozi. The jiaozi skins come in all different colors, which is why it's called rainbow. The fillings inside the jiaozi were all pretty similar. It's like pork and various vegetables, but the jiaozi wrappers are all different colors, which is why it's called rainbow jiaozi. I assume that the way they do this is, instead of using water when they make the noodle dough, they use the juice of some kind of vegetable. This gives the jiaozi wrappers a mild distinction in terms of flavor, and honestly, it might just be psychological, but I could taste the difference in all of them, and I really liked them. Bottom line, this place is busy for a reason, okay? Skip the green tofu, get the jiaozi. Laojia is a tourist street, but it does run right through an inhabited part of town, so you'll also see people's houses. It's right next to a river, so there's some really pretty views. Another great thing about towns like Tunxi and areas like Laojia in particular is that there are no shortage of hostels because there's lots of tourists coming through. We stayed in a great place that provided breakfast and arranged a shuttle to the mountain the following morning. So many snacks, and this has all just been build up. Next week, we climb the mountain. Make sure you join us on Friday for that. Tell your friends to watch Street Food, where we eat it on the street, watching out for the parasites. Street food. Congrats to the winner of our What's in My Backpack giveaway. Congratulations. Congrats to the winner. They won an episode. Click the description. The winner. Click the link to see what they won. Friggin'. Here we go.